All right, well, I'd like to welcome you to the Canvas training today. Our goal here is to really focus the conversation to help any faculty or adjunct working with their TA to work with Canvas and some of the new features that we've recently made available through Canvas, and it's the course template concept. Learning Technologies, Codemure has developed some basic course templates for either a residential or a flexible course, and that's what I want to demonstrate to you today. So I'll basically start from scratch, basically as you will as well, finding your Canvas shell, the production shell for fall, finding your course when you log into Canvas, and then kind of importing the course template, and then filling that out. I'll just show you some basics, and then I'll cover some a little overview, kind of a light best practice discussion on how certain things in Canvas that you can use, certain assignments that might be helpful for you, and I'll look, kind of the majority of a lot of the faculty will be asking similar questions. So I'm going to focus a little bit of top-heavy focus on some of those questions that I know a lot of faculty will be asking. So fair enough, we'll get started. First thing that I want to do is share screen and take you to the Canvas dashboard, which is where you'll find your Canvas course for fall. And you'll see my busy Canvas dashboard because I've got a lot of other courses because I'm kind of an Uber user in Canvas. I've created a training course, and it's just an empty shell. So when you click in, you'll find an empty shell that'll look exactly like this. So that's step number one. Find the right shell. Your production shell, just so you can check it, of course, it's got the course title on the front, and it'll say Fall Term A or Fall Term B. Those are the two terms that we'll be kind of developing for fall. But if you want to check and just make sure, you can always go into People, and if you've got registered students, they'll show up here. So your enrolled students will be starting to show up here. That's the way you can confirm, yeah, this is the production shell. So let me go back to the home page, which currently just doesn't have anything in it. Now we would, if we didn't have a course template, we'd create a module from scratch and then get started that way. But what I want to show you is basically how to import the course template. And what you want to do first is going over to Import from Commons. And when you do, you're going to find two majority options for course templates, and they'll show up front and center. And they're both got the Southwestern logo at the top. One of them will be for a normal residential course. The other one will be for a flexible course. And without knowing exactly which kind of course you're going to teach, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the flexible course because that'll involve a combination of residential and distance students in one course. So basically, though, both of the templates look pretty much the same and operate the same. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that template. So when you're ready to import, I want you to go over here to the blue button that says Import and Download. And then what you're going to have is a drop-down menu of all of the different courses that you have. Your list will not be as long as mine. And I'm going to go populate the training course for the purpose of today's demonstration. And I'm going to import the course. Now, what you need to know is once you import the course template, you basically kind of force-fed that template into your production shell. So you kind of make a commitment to use it. Does that make sense? So, I mean, you can always, there's ways of editing the pages and all of the different things that you'll have available to you. So just know that you're going to make that commitment and you're going to benefit. And I think by using the course template, whether it's a residential or flexible course, you'll end up saving time in the long run, and it'll help us as an institution create a similar look and feel for all of our courses with the Southwestern blue and the branding and the logo that you'll see. All right, so now we're ready. The next step is it's probably successfully imported. You see that green band at the top. I'm going to go back to the dashboard and basically reactivate the course and see if the import has taken place, and it has. So your Canvas course will always default to the home page. Now here's what I need to tell you on the front end. There's two home page options. The first one that comes default is called the Course Content Coming Soon homepage. So if you would like to take advantage of this strategy, and if you're still in the process of putting the final touches on editing your Canvas course, you can basically make available a simple homepage like this one and publish your course by going up here and hitting the Publish button. And by doing that, all of your enrolled students will have access to at least seeing this Coming Soon homepage. And on this page, you can put anything you want to. For example, you can make the syllabus available to your students. And that's easy to do. All you have to do is go up to Edit. And this is going to be true for any of the pages that are made available in the course template. You'll always have the Edit button in the upper right-hand corner. The first thing that you always want to do is drop over in the far right with those cluster of dots, stretch down the editing box right there. And now you've got an editing box right here with all of the editing buttons and all of the features. This is really the powerhouse of Canvas. They've done a really good job of making available all of the design buttons and links, design features all on one screen. So for example, if you wanted to, obviously you're going to edit the text and customize this. You've got access to changing the font, different indentations with the paragraph, boldface, italics, underline, and all your familiar friends. So those buttons are useful for you as you kind of do your design and your customization for any page that you'll use in the template. One of the things that you might be interested in first is, replacing that document link right there. If you wanted to upload your real syllabus, what I can do is backspace on that, and I'll show you that one of the first features up here, there's different buttons that I'll be explaining along the way. I won't explain them all at this step, but there's a documents button right there, and if you do the download, you can upload a document, basically the PDF version of your syllabus for your fall course. And it's basically just a drag and drop feature at that point, right? And when you draw, I can do whatever, let's just pretend this is my syllabus. And when I hit submit, I have created a link to that document. And I just randomly pulled one off my desktop. So there you go. So that's the kind of thing that you can do. And when you publish your course, let me go ahead and save this. So this is our saved Coming Soon webpage, which is our home page. When you've published your course, by clicking that button there, you are making your course available for your registered students. They can see this homepage. Now, a general rule of thumb in terms of course design, every other item that you're going to create in your Canvas course, you may want to consider leaving it unpublished until you want your students to see it. So there's two steps or two layers of publishing. The first step is to publish your entire course, and then there's a second publishing step of publishing the individual entities within your Canvas course, such as assignments and a module in any page. All of those require publishing. So everything has a button at the upper right, published or not published. So that way you can kind of control what your students are seeing. In some cases, you may be a professor that, say, in your 14-week course, you've got the first 7 modules or weeks made available and published, and the back half of your course may still be a work in progress. So you want to leave those modules unpublished in any of the assignments in those week 1, week 2, I'm sorry, week 7, week 8, week 9 type pages unpublished as well. We'll talk about that more in just a little bit. Now, let me just show you how the template works to make pages available to you. Now, like I said, the course template that we see comes with prefabbed, pre-designed pages that you can work with as you think through and design your Canvas course. So let's look at the pages here, and we're on the Pages tab here, and I'm going to go up to View All Pages in the upper left-hand corner there and click that button or tab. Now what you see are all of the prefabbed, pre-designed pages. Now you want to know what these pages are. Start with the For Instructor page right there. That's just basically a page that's got explanations for how to use the pages or how to use this template. You might want to read that on your own and kind of get familiar with. Cody's done a really good job of giving us explanations of all the different template pages. My favorite page, and I like to be simple, keep it super simple, the KISS method, is design Canvas around the module page strategy. So if you think of your Canvas course, and I'll kind of explain this right now, the best approach to designing a Canvas course, and I'll demonstrate this in here in a little bit. The first basic step is to upload all of your assignments, whether it be a quiz, a group discussion, maybe even your midterm and final if you've got that ready, a lecture link, or a Turnitin assignment that could be like a book review or something like that. You can create all of those assignments on the front end. And then as a second design kind of step, going into Canvas and setting up and organizing your class around a module page strategy. So you can keep it really simple for your students. If you're teaching a 14-week, 13-week, whatever, full semester course, you may consider having a module, which think of it as a chapter heading in a book and one page for each week. So you might end up with, like, say, 14 pages, and that's it. Just know this up front, that a page, and I'm referring to here the general page right here. This is the general page that I prefer. Basically has a basic, that's got the Southwestern branding, and then a simple workspace that you can pretty much create a catcher's mitt for everything. A page is, what you're doing is creating a digital book for your course. A page can be turned like a book, but it's digital. And every time the student turns the page, they've completed all of the things that you ask them to do or watch or quiz taking or whatever. When they're done with those assignments for week 1, they simply turn the page, and then you've given them a page for week 2. And that's a simple design strategy. We've been doing it so far in the Summer A and our Summer B courses. Students have really responded well to it. Now, Cody's got some other fancier things. I'm not going to explain that today. As we advance our institutional Canvas IQ, we'll get a little better at working with some of these pages. But I'm just think of, maybe your first time out of the chute here, starting real simple. All right. So that's what you have there. So I'm going to go back to the Pages screen. We're on this screen here. Now, let me tell you up front. Let's say you heed my advice and you've got the basic general page here. What you want to do, let's say you decide, I'm going to need 14 of those pages for all 14 weeks of my full semester flexible course. What you want to do first is duplicate that page 14 times. So you'll have the original, and then you'll have the first copy, and then you'll just kind of keep doing that 14 times. Duplicate. There's copy 2, you can see that. Then I'll create copy 3, etc., etc. Now what you're doing here is creating working pages. So when you're in the second phase design and you're going in and basically grabbing one of those pages and using it for an actual page that you're going to deliver for your students. If you just have the one template page, you only have a chance, you use that one page, then you've used up all your pages. So just know you've got to copy the pages. I'll just stop at general page, and I'll have copy 2, and copy 3. And that's what I'm going to use to demonstrate here in a little bit, just so you know, because that's my page preference. The other thing that I want to show you when you're at this Pages view, you've got the under construction page here, but you've also got a home page. So when you're ready to go live, you'll probably want to go and then revert to the home page as your front page and change that maybe a couple days before the start of the semester. So let me just go ahead and show you how to do that. Home page, you'll go over here to the drop down and you see use as front page. And when you've designated that home page, I'll go up to home, it'll default to the home page. All right, so the nice thing about this home page, it's gonna allow you to keep, all of your announcements will be put at the top of the home page. This is the page that your students see very first every time they log into the Canvas course. So you can keep your announcements front and center at the very top. So the announcements work this way, just while we're on this topic. New announcement, I can click, I can say, hello, welcome, you know, your welcome announcement. Here's where you put your text of your announcement. You can actually attach a file. You can put your syllabus there for duplication, and then you can save. And there's the first announcement. So let's go back to the home page. And there it is, ready for your students. So that's how announcements work. Anytime you add a new announcement to a Canvas course, your students will be notified. So there's notifications that are working behind the scenes. They'll be notified through the seminary email address, their email address. Now, this is the home page. So when you're ready to edit this home page or customizing it, what you want to do is change the information here. You don't have to use all of it. You can give your contact information, just so you know it's put here as kind of a placeholder. If you want to give your students information about how to contact learning technologies or campus technologies, let's say they have some odd thing happening with a browser that's not playing well with the stream video playing feature, you want to give them access to know and let them know who do they contact if they've got an issue, especially our distance students. So you might want to leave that there. But when you want to edit the page, it's no different than before. There's the edit button there in the upper right. First thing that I always do is drag the editing box and make it full size. And like I showed before, you can customize your page, change the font, bold, italics, underline. Let me show you something that you might want to consider doing on your permanent home page. So this first line says you'll want to edit it and customize it. This is a quick note from your instructor, and it says something about recording a quick video using the built-in Canvas recording tool. So let me show you how simple this is. This might be a good place to kind of spend a little time talking about how do you handle recorded lecture content or any kind of lecture video or any kind of instructional video for your class. Canvas is going to give you an editing button up here. I haven't demonstrated it yet, but it's here. That's the Record Upload Media button. And you'll want to go to that option there, Upload Record Media. So here's the interface box. Canvas will give you 3 choices or 3 options for making video content available for your students. So the one that I want to show you first is the computer option. So if you have pre-recorded, let's say a 15-20 minute lecturette that you've recorded in your own studio, maybe you're using OBS. That's a tool that you ought to have if you're going to do any kind of lecture recording in your workstation at home or in your office. Those little mini videos, you can just drag those in here, drop them in here, submit, and that will give your students a link to that video, and they can view it right out of Canvas. But just know that those videos you're uploading to Canvas. So if they get bigger, the bigger files will want to go to the embed option here. Now this is what you need to know, Sandra. There's going to be a part 2 training that both of you will be invited to that involves training in the smart classroom. So if you're teaching a flexible course where you have residential students, social distancing in the classroom for fall, and you'll also have distance students, you're going to be trained in how to use the smart classroom, assist Dr. Rose in turning on and recording the lecture for that day, and making that recorded lecture available, uploading to Stream, which is out of Office 365, and then right here, copying the embedded code, which is basically a URL link to that uploaded video, and pasting it here in the embed code box. And that's what you'll be trained to do in part 2 of the training that we do. So when you hit submit, basically you'll create a video link right here for your students to view. And that's the best way to handle any larger lecture video that you may have for your students. Now the last option that I wanted to show you was the middle one. If you hit record, and it's not showing my webcam because my webcam's being used for this purpose of recording this discussion, but you have the mic and the webcam, and there'll be a little box here. And if you wanted to create, if you wanted to create introduction video for your homepage where it's just you talking to your students, sharing with them a little bit about yourself, who you are, the professor, and also talking to them about the course and basically how it's organized. You can do that right here, Johnny on the spot. Just hit start recording. Canvas will give you a 3, 2, 1, and then you go. And you can just, if you have to do it again, you can do it again. A couple takes, you'll probably be fine. So that's a really good feature, and it's really easy to use, and it's something that I would recommend that you do for your homepage to give it a little more pizzazz, a little more personal touch, especially for your distance students. You're teaching a flexible course. All right, enough on the homepage. Now what I want to do is go and basically kind of follow through with what I told you on the front end in terms of strategies for designing your Canvas course. So the professor working with the TA together can have a strategy anytime starting this summer of creating and uploading assignments as kind of the first step for Canvas design. The way you want to do that is going into assignments. So assignments, you can start there. And I'm going to leave the home page. And this is what you get as far as what comes in the template course. So think of how to organize. So what I'm trying to say here is organizing your assignments around group headings. So a group that you assign to your assignments might be something like this. And I'll just create a few just for the purposes of illustration. Let's say I've got book reviews in my course. I'll hit plus group. So I want to add a group of assignments, and maybe I'll give it a title called book, Turnitin assignments. So my book reviews are going to be submitted through Turnitin, and I'm going to show you how to create a Turnitin assignment here as a function of this in just a little bit. So I'm going to save that. You see that there's my placeholder for Turnitin assignments. Let's say another category of assignments I have is called something maybe reading quizzes. So that's another big chunk of my class, and there's the placeholder right there. Maybe another category are, I'll just create this one, and this will be my last one, group discussions. So I'm going to use, like in the old school Blackboard world, we called those discussion boards. So I'm going to create a group discussion. And I'm going to show you, if you're teaching a larger course, how to break your full class into, say, groups of 7 to 10 students. So breaking your large class into small groups and then assigning group discussions to the individual groups. In Canvas, it's easy peasy, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's work with these 3 categories that I've created here. So I've got Turnitin assignments, I've got reading quizzes, and I've got group discussions. So what I'm going to do is create one assignment in each of those categories and show you what it's like. Now, just as a kind of a disclaimer, if you have taught a previous Blackboard course with quizzes that you'd like to import in from a previously taught Blackboard course, there is a way to do that. I'm not going to demonstrate that today. It's a little technical, but contact Learning Technologies, Adam Majerus, and he will give you a PDF guide that explains how to do that. And if you have trouble with it, you can always ask for their help. And the team down there, I'm just telling you, we've got the most fantastic Learning Technologies group down there. Adam Majerus, Cody Muir, Bill Iwasaki are doing a fantastic job servicing our campus with regards to this Canvas transition. That was a little commercial, sorry. But I'm really proud of those guys in terms of working with them. All right, Turnitin assignments. So here's what you want to do, and this is the basic way of progressing through this. You want to hit the plus button there. So you're going to add an assignment and put it in that category. So the assignment here, you're going to drop down. Here's what I'm going to tell you. A Turnitin assignment is an external tool. It's a third-party vendor. What you're doing here is creating a link of your assignment to an external web page where Turnitin HQ is, wherever they are. So that's creating a link now by clicking external tool. You want to do that. Name your assignment. Let's say it's book review number 1, whatever you want to call it. Give it a due date. I'm just going to, for the simplicity, give it a due date for Friday and give it maybe 10 points or whatever. The points total there, just so you know, will be transferred into the how grades are calculated in the Grade Center in Canvas. Let me share with you right now the power and the importance of giving due dates to your assignments that you create for your students. Here's what you need to know on the front end. Every assignment that you have that's given a due date, Canvas is going to do two things with those assignments based in it's going to organize certain things around those due dates. One, it's got a built-in syllabus feature, and it's going to organize all of your assignments based on due dates at the bottom of the syllabus. That's a really nice feature for your students, as well as Canvas has a built-in calendaring feature. So in your class and every other class that student's taking at Southwestern, all of the assignments that have due dates will be organized on a calendar where you've got a day at a glance view, you've got a week at a glance view, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a little bit. But it's a really nice feature, and when the students find out about this, as they already have, they're basically saying, this is wonderful, it helps me stay organized, it'll help us with retention, students aren't going to get lost in terms of organization, it's going to be easy peasy for the students. All right, so what I'm going to do is hit save. Now notice this says save and publish. Again, if you publish it and you publish your course, then it'll be available to students. If you create it and not publish it, it won't be available to your students until you publish the individual assignment. So just keep that in mind in terms of how you're going to push forward in terms of making your course available if you need to in stages leading up to the first day of the semester. All right, now there it is, book review number 1. Now once it's created, you have to go back in and create that Turnitin link on this particular kind of assignment. And I'm starting with this one just because I know it's a lot of professors are going to be asking the question, how do you create a Turnitin assignment? So up in the upper right-hand corner, notice it's not published yet. Upper right-hand corner, I want to click the edit button. All right, so any special instructions I can put in the instructions box there. There's my point total. It's a Turnitin assignment. The grade will be displayed as points. I always default to that. I just keep track of points for my class. Now here's the external tool. The thing that you'll have to do on this page is go to Find, and it takes you to a basic. I'm going to scroll down until I find Turnitin. Now there's other things here. As our institutional Canvas IQ increases, we'll learn more about how to use some of those other tools. Some of you may be early advanced users and figure it out on your own. I just haven't gotten that far yet, so I'm not even going to talk about it, only what I know, and that you use Turnitin right there. You hit select, and you've just created a URL or HTTP address to that, and you've connected that assignment to Turnitin. And you're going to assign that assignment to everyone, and there's the deadline. You can also create a test, a window, and that's familiar turf. We did that in Blackboard with our, let's say, our midterm and our final exams. If you have to create a test window for a test or an assignment, you can use those boxes as well, and those work really well. I'm going to save it, and it's going to confirm to me that, oh, there's the Turnitin navigation pane that's available for your students. There it is. Okay, I'm good to go. So that assignment's been created. That's a Turnitin assignment. So any written assignment, review, book review, whatever, that's what you do there. So I'm going to go back to assignments. Now I'm going to create a reading quiz. I'm going to show you how to create a timed reading quiz, the kind of quiz that's self-grading. Once you set it up, it's good for the whole semester. It self-grades and generates a grade, point total, puts it into the Grade Center. Again, we're going to hit the plus button here. We're going to assign it, and it's going to be a quiz. The word quiz is also good for test. So if you have a quiz or a test, you click that option there. This is going to be Chapter 1, reading quiz. I'll give it a deadline and a point total. Say this one's worth 10 points. Let's say it's 10 questions, multiple choice, self-grading, timed quiz, 40 minutes, open book, open Bible, open note. So I'm not going to save and publish. I'm going to click save. And I've just created that entity there. So I'm going to click it and open it up like before. You can preview it if you want to, but I'm going to go up to Edit. We're not going to preview now because you don't have any questions added to it. All right, so the first step is any instructions you give there, you can type into that box. The specific thing that I wanted to show you for a timed quiz, you have options. I'm not going to demonstrate or talk about all of the options, but the kinds of things that you can do is shuffling answers. I'm going to set a time limit for, let's say, 40 minutes. I'm not going to allow multiple attempts. I'm going to keep these as default. I'm not going to have quiz restrictions here. And basically, there's my deadline. I'm just going to save. So I'm done. I've just created a timed quiz. The only thing I haven't done yet is uploaded the questions. So if you go back into Edit, you're going to have 10 multiple choice questions. It's pretty intuitive. There's the details, but there's another tab called Questions. So you're going to go there, and you're going to add a question. This part is pretty intuitive. I probably won't spend a lot of time on it. You've got different kinds of questions in the drop down here. I prefer multiple choice questions. I type my question in here. Here's question, whatever it is. And then what I'm going to do is put in my different answers. And I'm going to select the correct answer. I think always is defaulted at the top. And there's feedback that I can give here. I'm not as well versed at this, so I'm not going to go any further in my explanation. But you can keep it simple and basically, you know, design a quiz pretty simply. I would I think there's a tutorial that you could request from Learning Technologies. If you need a little extra help, they can send it to you or send you a watch and learn link, and they'll give more information about how to design quizzes. But I think it's pretty intuitive. And that's all I'm going to show you there on quizzes. So that's how you do that. All right, let's go back to assignments. One more that I want to show, and that's the group discussion. So I'm creating a group discussion. I've got, let's say, 50 students in my class, like I did for my Summer Term A course, which, by the way, Summer Term A went really well. Students have responded off the charts positive for Canvas. So that'll be your experience as well. One of the things that I want to maybe give as a little disclaimer here at this point while I'm thinking about it, as you design your course, know this: we're all in the middle of this pandemic. We're going to start the semester, as far as we know, as of today, on campus. But your course design will help build some durability for you as you move through the semester. Let's say there's this huge surge of COVID, and all of us have to go online. Even the residential courses, the flexible courses, of course, already have that online built into it. But your well-designed Canvas course will really add some real flexibility in terms of you moving quickly into an all online format if you have to, let's say in the middle of the semester. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But we'll be hearing more from our administration as we move on. So just really think that through and work hard on you've got some time this summer in getting your Canvas course really thought through and organized, and it's just going to help you down the road. That's just kind of what I'm saying while we've got some time on our hands here. All right, I'm going to add a group discussion. All right, so this is going to be a discussion. I'm going to name it question 1 for whatever reason. Give it a due date. And then I'm going to give it a point total of 10, let's just say. I'm going to save that. And here's what I want to show you. If you could, and this is going to be only true that you have to do this for the very first question that you're setting up for the fall semester. So I'm going to click it and open it up. And as before, there's an editing step that you have to do. And we're taking to this very familiar assignment dashboard. It's slightly different for a discussion. You want to put your question here. Now here's kind of something that's fun. Some of you may want to create discussion questions around, let's say, a journal article that you want the group to read and critique. You can upload a document right there. Or let's say there's something you want them to view or watch and critique or evaluate. So that's something you can use. I can't remember if Blackboard had that feature, but you can create a link to an MP4 file or a PDF document right there. It's kind of a nice feature. I don't really change anything here. Some of you may allow threaded replies. I like to keep it simple. Students are posting one time and they're basically, my questions focus on application to walk with the Lord or present or future ministry. They're sharing some good ministry ideas, and there's a esprit de corps that develops when I break my large group into small groups, especially for all distance students. They appreciate that opportunity to get to know their colleagues and get to know their professor. So that's what I'm doing. And the way to do that is right here. This is a group discussion. All right, there you go. So the first thing that you're going to do, and this happens at the very beginning of the semester when you are basically taking that bucket of enrolled students and creating groups with them, you're going to create a group set. And you just call it whatever you want, small groups. And I'm not going to allow self-sign-up. That gets clunky. I'm going to generate the groups by splitting the groups into, now if I've got 50 students and I want 10 in each group, I'm just going to go do the math and make it really simple. I'm not going to do this, and I'm just going to do that, and it's done. So this is a group discussion. You've created the small groups category, and that group set named small groups is what you'll attach any future group discussion question to. So when you do that, I'll show you what it looks like. There's peer review. That might be something some of us want to do down the road, but I'm just going to save and show you what it looks like. So I've just created that group set with 5 small groups. That's what shows up here. So when you basically, any future question at that same step, you'll assign that question to your group set called small groups. And then you'll create that dashboard right there. And that's just the confirmation to you. All right, so let me go back to assignments. One thing that I want to show you, and this is for the TAs as well. If you're going to be going through and assessing the group discussions based on the criteria that your professor gives you, here's what it looks like. And I want to make sure everybody knows about this because this is an amazing feature in Canvas called Speed Grader. Speed Grader works off of once you're, and I'll just show you here. Let's say you're ready to grade group discussions. And it happens after you publish it. So now that's published, it's green, available to my students. Now I'm ready to grade that group discussion. So I go over here. Hold on a second. I don't know why that didn't happen. Let me go back. There we go. Okay, why didn't that not show Speed Grader? I thought it would. There it is. Maybe it just took a second to activate. So there's Speed Grader. I call it Speedy Gonzalez Speed Grader because it's so nice. You've got a dashboard. For any assignment that you create, you've got Speed Grader. Speed Grader is going to give you a grading template that works just really well. Well, there's no students registered. There's no students that have posted to this particular assignment. But let me just explain and give you a visual picture. You'll have a nice grading template. You'll scroll through student by student. You'll see the student post, or if it's a Turnitin assignment, Speed Grader accesses the Turnitin tools. You'll be able to look at plagiarism, and you'll give feedback to your student one of 3 ways. You can give it as a short comment. You can give it as an attached document, which might have maybe a summary of the things you were looking for in the essay question, for example. Or you can even record your voice. You can give a voice recorded response to an assignment as well and move through very efficiently. Just know Speed Grader is something you want to basically definitely take advantage of when you're ready to start grading your assignments. All right, in the time that we have left now, you've finished filling your closet full of assignments. Your assignments closet has shelves based on group names. You're organizing your assignments, putting them on the appropriate shelf. Now you're ready to build that organizational strategy, basically creating that digital book for your Canvas course. So now you're gonna go to modules. So everybody look there. So here's what I want to do. I want to show you a module, and in the upper right-hand corner, there's the module create button. So thinking in terms of strategy, a module is like the chapter heading of your book, and a page is a page within that chapter. So the very simple approach, knowing up front that a simple general page from the course template serves as a catcher's mitt for all of the assignments and all of the narrative and explanation that you want to give to your students for each week as you design your 14, I'm just using a 14-week flexible course as an example here. So the first thing that I want to do, now while we're on this particular template page, here's some instructions on how to use this template. So if you open that up, that's not going to be published so your students don't see it, but it's something, again, you can use. And I think I showed that page to you before. It basically explains all the various pages and how they work. The one that I want to use is the general page here. So that's the one that I'm going to demonstrate for the purpose of simplicity, keeping it simple and that kind of a thing. So let's go back to modules. Modules is very simple. You'll create a module, and it may be week 1. That's chapter 1 in your book. So you'll add that module. Here it is. Now I'm ready to create the page. The page is going to be that catcher's mitt for all things explanation, narratives, and course links to anything that you want to create. I'm going to create it by hitting the plus tab here. It's not an assignment, it's a page right there. Now I have access to all of the template pages. Do you remember before I started with the general page and I made duplications? Copy, copy, copy. So that's where I want to go grab, not the original one, but the first copy there. Select it and add it. And there it is. So now I'm going to start editing the page. So that represents week 1 assignments, week 1, read this, watch this, post this, reflect on this, book review this, all of those assignments. So let's just go and open that up. Now, just for the purposes of, so you understand, there's some general navigation buttons that come stock as part of the design of the template course. Students can leave this page to go back to the home page. They'll leave this page, they can go look at the syllabus page, or they can go to course modules. So basically they're in a module right now. This resources page, I'm not sure if it's fully done yet, so don't worry about it. All right, let's go here. You can change the page. Okay, so first thing to do is go into the upper right-hand corner and edit. As always, you have to drag that box down so you have a nice working space. You can change the page title. Notice there's a nice branding, the Southwestern blue. Looks really nice. And put your cursor right there at the end. It's just simple backspace. Change the title to whatever you want. I keep selecting week 1. You can get creative and use your own titles as well. Now what I want to do is start creating body text. So I'm going to give narrative and instructions for week 1. And I'm going to say, you know, maybe read chapter 1. I'm being very basic here. I'm just for the purpose of illustration and showing you how very easy this is, following my basic 1-2 approach. So after they read chapter 1, what I want to do now is create a course link to that quiz that I created before. So now you're going to go up to the link button right there. It looks like chain link. And in the drop down, I want to create a course link. When you click here, it's going to basically take you to a closet that has all of your assignments organized by shelves. And this lines up with the things that you basically created before. So I'm going to go to the quizzes shelf, and there should be one quiz that I created, and there it is. All I have to do is click it, and it creates a course link right there, ready for my students. If I wanted to change the font size, I can do that, make it a little bigger. I can make it bold so they know it's a nice bright blue course link. So when the students click that link, there's the clock starts. Well, it doesn't start until they enter into the quiz, and then it starts. So that's ready to go for your students. And then I can hit return and start typing and giving them more instructions for the next thing. Now, watch this. Now I can create a lecture link to a lecture that's been uploaded to stream, let's say, by doing that thing that I showed you before with regards to the button called Record Upload Media. And if I do that, similar to what I showed you before, a lot of us will be using the embed feature. because we've got our videos uploaded to stream, especially if it's a video over 20 minutes. Even 20-minute videos, you might want to consider using that upload to stream process. But I'm copying and pasting the embedded code here and creating a link for my students at that point. So it's right there. And if you, out of courtesy, if you've got the link here, if you want to add a little extra information on the actual video link, this, maybe 20 minutes or 25 minutes for how long the video is, that's a nice feature for the students so they know how long that video is. If they have to put the kids to bed or wait until their day clears up to watch a 25-minute video. And just so you know, Stream allows for 2-speed viewing if the students want to create a little extra efficiency at that point. Now, discuss this. So now what I want to do is go back and grab that group discussion going up to the links, and I'm going to go create a course link to that small group discussion, and that's going to be in discussions. And there it is, question number 1. And now I've just created a course link to that group discussion question. So students will click that and then post their discussion to that small group based on your criteria. All right, and then maybe the last thing that they do for the week is post this in a Turnitin assignment. Maybe that you've asked them to read an article and evaluate it and submit it as a Turnitin assignment. So a course link there. I think you need to go up to assignments to grab the Turnitin assignments. And there it is, book review number 1. That's an assignment that's created to submit something. And there's your Turnitin link right there. All right, so that's what you do. And when you hit save, that page is ready to go. And there it is, ready to go for your students. And it's got a previous link. So if I go back to modules, there's week 1 template page. Let me just show you this really quick. I'll create another module is in terms of kind of what you'd be doing in building out your organizational strategy for a 14-week semester. You might go with the week 2 for second module. And like before, I'm going to add that page out of my pages that are available to me in my template, course template. And what I want to do is maybe grab copy 2 and add that as an item, and there it is right there. So once, now I'm going to go back and I've created that page. Here's what I want to show you. And this is part of the creating a digital book for your students, following the module page strategy that I'm highly recommending for you today is a very simple, easy to use kind of strategy. So if I go into week 1, page 1, I've got this page, and when my students are have completed this page, Canvas will put in a next button automatically for your students. So here's the page turn. It's easy. They click next, and then they're taken to that week 2 page. So you're basically creating a 14-page book for your students for a 14-week flexible course. And that's been a really surprisingly well-received feature for our returning students and our brand new students, at least the feedback I've been getting from my summer A course. And you could talk to Dr. Wicker and Dr. Madison Grace, and they'll tell you the same thing. Some of our advanced power user professors, they've had great experiences with Canvas. So I trust that your fall course experience in designing a well-designed Canvas course will be very much the same. And now we've made the template courses available for you to help make your life even a little bit easier. So keep it simple that first time out. That would be my recommendation. Stay close to the module general page strategy as you design and map out your 14-week for your semester. And if you follow that, start with the assignments and then come back around and then use your module pages and fill it out like I've shown you here. I think it'll make your design experience very, very easy and avoid some of the confusion that you maybe would have encountered otherwise. Let me show you just a couple things. We've got a little bit of time in settings. So here's the settings tab here. Something that you may have to think about in terms of your class. This gets a little bit confusing, but know that your course out of the box will basically default to the semester, first day of the semester and the last day of the semester in terms of when your students will be able to access that class. If you're a professor like me that likes to give my students maybe if I want my students to have access to my class, let's say 3 days in advance, what you're going to have to do is set the, and this is a default, I'm sorry, this is a override to this semester start. So I want to add 3 days on the front end. What I can do is set that date to 3 days before the start of the semester. And when I publish my class, students will be able to access my class 3 days before the start of the semester. So does that make sense? That's an easy way of doing it. And that way you've published your class, you've overridden the start date of the semester by changing that first box. You don't have to really worry about that second box because kind of behind the scenes, here's what you need to know. Learning Technologies is going to set that when the semester ends for that course, they're going to add about 8 weeks to the end of every one of our fall courses. So that way, you, the professor, and let's say you've got some students that you're going to apply a little grace and give them a little extra time to finish and wrap up the course. Maybe life crashed in on them and you're giving them a little grace. So if you've got students like that, you say, yeah, you've got 3 more weeks to finish the assignments. That'll give you plenty of time to wrap up your grading and deal with those students that you're giving extra time to. You won't have to worry about that one. So, so that's what, you can keep that defaulted as students can only participate in the course between these dates. If you set that and then publish your course, you're in good hands there. All right, one more thing I want to show you in settings is down here in the grading scheme. Canvas comes with a default grading scheme that's not perfect and in alignment with the Southwestern grading scheme. However, if you go into View Grading Scheme right there, you can select another grading scheme right there. And when you select it as the default, then you will have the Southwestern grading scheme built into your Canvas course. So Canvas, for example, will not give A+, but the Southwestern grading scheme does. So that will then allow you to add points and assign points to every assignment. The points are then put into the grade book in Canvas, and then based on the Southwestern grading scheme, you'll have all of your letter grades generated appropriately. All right? Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you there. Wow, we're done a little early, 3 minutes to spare, and I'll go back to the home page. And what I want to do is end the recording now and make this recording available to all TAs and all professors who may not have attended my last 3 trainings, or if they want to watch it again, if they need a little refresher. So I know there's a lot of information. We're just giving you kudos and thanks in advance for doing your best work in making the learning experience for our students, Southwestern students, whether they're in class, residentially, or online distance. We're creating a wonderful learning experience for them through Canvas course design. So I just want to say thank you, and I'll stop the recording at this point. Stop the recording